Welcome to the 98er's. Oh, what a game. Holy crap. The Rays win, walk off. We all, who had Brett Phillips walk off to win the game? Who had him? I think we talked about it last night, right? We were all expecting Brett Phillips to come in this game and win it with a crazy play at the end of the game. Holy crap. What did we just see, everyone?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Hopefully the beginning of a momentum shift.
First of all, what we saw was a shit ton of records getting broken, like left and right. Like every at bat, another record's falling, right, in this series, it seems like. And then Randy doing what Randy does, and then Seager on the other side doing what Seager does. And here we go. When it all comes down to it, we got the hometown guy coming off the bench, defensive replacement, putting the ball in play, forcing the Dodgers to make a play, and their very first mistake of the series, Rays capitalize, walk-off run, Rosarena scores the game-winning run.
That was just amazing to watch.
I'm still shaking.
Like just literally no one saw it, but me and Shooter were sitting here waiting for Stash to sign on, and Stash signs on and then takes off, and so he can watch it live in the living room. And I get the tweet saying Rays win, and because Mark Tompkins is there at the field, and he's like, "What?" I was like, "The Rays just won it. I don't know how, but they just won it."
I know. You said the Rays won. We're like probably like a minute behind, and I'm like, "How is this possible?" And then I'm watching Brett Phillips's hit, and I'm still like, how did the Rays win with this hit? And then I watch it all unfold, and just like you and just like Kendra here, wow, that was crazy, shocking. What an end. And to tell you the truth, what a freaking game this whole game was. I mean, it was just a battle back and forth. It seems like whenever the Rays could try to come back a little bit, LA was right back on them, and thank goodness the Rays got last at bats because they were not going to be denied.
What have I been saying this entire postseason? When the Rays have the last at bat, that's what we need. That's what the Rays thrive on, is having that last at bat. You know, they were talking about home field advantage or whatever had been swayed because the Dodgers won a game. No, I don't believe that. In baseball, home field advantage is home field advantage because you get the last at bat. Like that's what it comes down to, or that advantage. You know what I'm saying? Last at bat is all that matters. It doesn't matter, what. So you got to make them pay one time when you don't have the last at bat. But to get back in this series, it was so crucial for the Rays to have that last at bat tonight and really go out there and make them pay for their mistakes tonight on the mound and that last play at the plate. What was that? 7 or 8 half innings in a row that there was a run scored, which is a World Series record, playoff record, World Series record. Like, it's insane.
It seemed like the Dodgers had an answer for everything that the Rays had. And this was definitely the luck of going last, because we would score to go ahead, and then the Dodgers would just go the next inning. Yeah, and then we would go back ahead, and the Dodgers would go ahead. I mean, it's 12:30 in the morning, and we're just finishing the game.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sleep anytime soon after what I just witnessed. I was ready to go right to bed. We were going to have a little 15-minute show here. And things have changed. And as Amy mentions here, yes, for anyone that doesn't know, Brett Phillips is from Seminole. He is the hometown hero. You can see the picture that I grabbed from the game right here. He was as shocked as we were.
Well, and listen, man, this is something you keep seeing, and I don't know if the Rays get enough credit for this. How many guys do we have that are right from here in Florida or in our area? They do such a good job of scouting and recruiting these guys, and even if they don't start with their career in this organization, they know about these guys, so they know when to bring them back, and how important it is to have these hometown roots for these guys. And I think that's kind of important right now in the way these guys are playing this game and playing as a team. So yeah, man, that's huge, right? What a moment for that guy. What a huge life moment for that guy. So amazing.
Sorry, I'm busy trolling people that said stick a fork in the Rays, and it's over.
Please do.
I'm like, these aged well.
I'm standing there in my living room by myself because Mrs. Stash ended up having to work tomorrow. She's supposed to be off. She has to work, so she had to go to bed like right at the start of the night thing. So I feel terrible for her, like halfway through the date. So I'm out there by myself in the living room, and I'm just standing there watching this, and KK's on, and Rosemary's is, and I'm like, all right, this is it. It's either the Rays hit and show up, and they win, and we're talking about we have a series, or they don't pull and they don't show up here, and pretty much the series is over. And it was a good run, and I'm proud of my boys for what they did, but. That's pretty much it. You're not winning 3 games in a row against the Dodgers, right? Because we talked about that. I don't think that's going to happen. But now, I don't know. Like after this,
you need 2 out of 3 now.
Now you show that you sit there and you can swing with these guys. You know what I mean? You could take their best shot. And yeah, I mean, it's lucky we had the last at bat, but it was also our guys that shut them down and stopped the scoring. They came back and did it, but we were able to kind of keep it tight there for that one. So I mean, I think our guys, I think our guys really needed this win, and almost to win this way, to show.
Yeah. I think this is going to bring momentum into the next game, and I think it was something they need to. Number one, it was an all-around game. We talked about this before, that we had to start getting some more hitting than just from Randy, and you had Lau, who could have been the hero. You had at different times, different players could have been a hero tonight, and then it comes down to be Phillips's. But how fitting is it that
I still think Lau is the biggest hit of the game.
For sure,
the biggest hit of the game.
For sure. I mean, Meadows could have been. You would think Meadows looked like he was going to do it.
Yeah.
Shooter wants some advice. What should we put there?
I'm gonna leave it up to the chat. We didn't have much time to prepare, but we got to get Brett on the whiteboard here. So if anyone can fill this out, we need a B, an R, an E, a T, and a T.
Best Ray ever to.
It's tough to get them all, huh? Anyway, all right. So if anyone has some good ones, throw them in the chat.
But how fitting was it that Randy touched the base for the winning run?
Yeah.
Almost didn't. Almost 100%. Tumbled right over. And that was just such a crazy play.
Well, you go back and look at that. Cause I was out there still watching the replay with 10 seconds almost before we came on the air. And, if Randy really was dead to rights there, but Will Smith lost exactly where he was, and so he thought he had to make the play a little bit faster, and that's why he mishandled the ball. Randy fell down, and that actually helped him, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's right there, and maybe Will Smith has a little bit better presence of where he's at because he feels it, but because he fell, he wasn't. He's like, man, he's supposed to be there, but I don't know where he is, kind of. You know what I'm saying? And that split second moment you have to make as a catcher. So it put the pressure on him, but then him falling down almost became a positive thing, and then he was able to scramble and barely, almost like a cartoon, he just barely got the one hand on the plate. There's a cloud of dust. You got to wait for the dust to settle. Did he reach the home plate? I mean, How dramatic, dude. How dramatic.
So are you saying Will Smith got jiggy with it?
Hey, listen, dude.
See what I did there?
What a crazy play with the Rosarina patting that home base, knowing the Rays just won this game and tied up the series. And guys, we were 1 out away here from being down 3-1, but this could change everything. I think this game maybe proved to the Rays that, hey, we can hang with this team. The way that they kind of went back and forth, inning for inning, and the whole game. The Rays were playing catch up, right? Because that first inning again, we give up another first inning home run to the same guy, to Turner again. He crushed another one,
which was a record.
Back to back first inning home runs.
First inning home runs. Then Seager hits one, and then we're playing catch up, and then we're going back and forth the rest of this game with basically home runs, and they're striking back with manufacturing runs. But the Rays. They came through. Renfroe,
runners in scoring position. Can we continue to talk about this byline? I mean, it's crazy, right?
How fitting was it that that's what we did to win the game too?
Well, especially late too. I mean, later on in the game, we had multiple. Lau was 2 outs, right? His home run was a 2-out home run. So I mean, there were multiple times tonight where we finally came back as a team and we got some 2-out hits timely, and got some guys on base too. You know what I mean? All the runs were off home runs except for the final 2. But again, they were getting on base more. They were putting more pressure. I mean, we still a lot of high strikeouts, but like we see that anytime. But they were a lot more effective and productive at the plate throughout the game tonight and putting pressure on the Dodgers pitching staff. I think
I thought the strike zone was crazy tonight.
I don't want to get into it, man, because honestly, that's why I want to stop watching fucking baseball, and I want to be candid about it. Like, I could not tweet because every time I went to tweet, I was at MLB, and it was fuck this, fuck that, this is fucking trash. And I'm sorry to really go that hard on it, but I mean that's the way I feel, and especially that Anderson at bat, with Peterson. That third pitch is 1-1. That pitch is on the corner, up and out. That is on the corner. He had already called that a strike multiple times in this game and in this series. That pitch has been called a strike. In a crucial at bat like that, bases loaded in the 8th, I think, right? How are you gonna not give the guy that pitch? You give that pitcher the pitch. You fucking reward him for making that pitch, and then you don't. It changed the entire at bat. I mean, it's up to him to come back and execute the next pitch, really, but still. And on the converse side, there's a couple of pitches missed for the Dodgers, too. They're in the 8th inning, one right down the middle, and didn't get called. So,
even on that last at bat with Brett Phillips.
Yes, that one on the outside corner, right.
Exactly. They got him on both sides that missed, and they were both strikes. But Phillips came through, poked that one in the outfield, and then finally, hey, I said it last night when we were wrapping up. I said, those previous series, you saw the other teams making mistakes, and we're jumping on it. And LA just has not made any mistakes, and they didn't really make that mistakes. Besides a couple pitching mistakes that led to home runs, they didn't make many mistakes today either. But this was really kind of that first defensive mistake that they made, and it was kind of those 2 kind of fumbles of the baseball that let the Rays come back and win this one. And what a lot of you guys are saying is the craziest game you've ever seen.
By far.
And it's definitely up there for me as well. Definitely one of those games that's going to go down in history for the Rays for sure.
In baseball, I think the series, aside from COVID, aside from everything else, with the records that are being broken, with the home runs, the hitting, 2 out, ball, all that, this is going to be one of the most historical World Series matchups ever. And we're in game 4. Right? It's 2-2. We still have three more games to go here, at least 2 more, right? So, I mean,
and it's gonna be interesting to see if that error gets in their head too, because we saw it with Altuve in the Houston series. After he got that, the error to that ended up costing them a game. Then it ended up being a consistent thing. So, does this linger on for the Dodgers? It'd be great for us if it did.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit surprised if it did, but you never know. It is baseball, and guys have got the yips, or teams in general have got the yips for less. From less teams have got the yips. So
yeah, and you really hope it carries over to the first inning. Remember what happened last game with Kershaw back in game 1? They had that chance to put some runs up, and they didn't get a chance to. And you saw Kershaw settle in like he does a lot, especially in the playoffs. So we'll see if it carries over. I'm sure they're going to have a Rosarena in that 2 spot or that 3 spot again, so he's going to get up. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the rest of the lineup. With some of these guys they've been plugging in and taking out and stuff, because not much G-Man tonight. He came in off the bench. He had Meadows started, I believe, right? And again, didn't really do much. But yeah, I think they got to take that momentum and just jump on the Dodgers in the bottom of the first next game. Yeah, because their home team. Again,
no, Meadows didn't start. He came in later in the game, didn't he? Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't on top of the starting lineup.
Yeah, he came in for a pinch hit and struck out, and then the next one was when Lau hit the homer.
Right.
Yeah, he pinch hit for Margot. That's what it was. I was gonna say they took out. I couldn't remember who it was, but it was Margot.
JT even heard Antonio Brown screaming. Wow. And Amy was going to go to bed early. What a huge mistake some Rays fans probably made tonight. But hopefully people stayed up at Saturday night, so we know less people have to get up early on Sunday. Steve's here. What's going on, Steve? To be honest with you, Steve, I switched hats. For anyone that watches Are We the Lightning? Are We the Thunder? Podcast.
Lightning show.
This is my lucky tie-dyed Lightning hat that won us a Stanley Cup. Or contributed to that, but we can stick this bad boy back on from Aced Out. That is where you can get that We the 98ers, or not We the 98ers, Tampa Bay 98ers merch.
I mean, listen, and if we're stumbling and bumbling and having a hard time recapping this game, we should not feel bad, because even the great Joe Buck himself at the end said, "Hey, what a tough game
you're a Joe Buck fan?
To recap." No, I'm not saying I'm a Joe Buck fan. I'm just saying, even he is going to have a hard time running this game down. So there's so much to talk about.
So I live here in Seminole, so I'm wondering if we have a parade for Brett tomorrow.
Hey, you helped win Game 4 parade.
That's right.
I am
like 4 blocks from Seminole High School. So,
they're gonna have a party if they win 2 more games, and it's that close. And you hate to look ahead, but tomorrow, game 5, you got Kershaw. Like I said, you want to jump out to a quick lead against them. But
today.
Wow, exactly. If they can really kind of take this momentum straight into that game, we have got a chance. You saw these guys really kind of stand up to those big bad Dodgers tonight with the way they were responding. Yeah, Steve, I'm gonna have to switch hats during the games.
Did anyone catch Adames out there beside the dugout during Randy's at bat?
No,
he was playing with Jobu.
Yeah.
He was. I'm pretty decent at reading lips, and he was like, "Please, Jobu, please." I could hear him. I could read his lips. Adames says, "Please, Jobu, please." And what a fantastic at bat by Randy there too. Honestly, I mean, he laid off 2 really good pitches on the outside of plate with 2 strikes, and for him to get that walk there and get on base, man, how locked in is he at the plate right now? I mean, he struggled for the first couple of games of this series, but last 2 games he's been locked back in, and they were even talking about giving him the Barry Bonds treatment tonight. Like, this is a good question. Brought it up. Better than game 162.
And here's Steve Carney's take is out there on Twitter just now.
Yeah, this is definitely the biggest win in Rays history. Yeah, even if we lose this series, this is still this will go down as one of the best World Series games, not just in Rays history. It's going to be a World Series game for people to look back for several years.
Yeah, this is one I'll always remember. And then that Game 7 Cubs Indians game was just insane. That went to extra innings.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Who's FSU? Well, where's that school? They haven't been relevant in years.
I don't even know what else.
Did you see Snell warming up in the bullpen? I was like, let's not get to him, please.
Yeah,
Let's
he
not
was
get
in the eighth. He was warming up.
Well, that's a good question. Is it Glasnow tomorrow?
Yeah, it's already been announced. It's Glasnow versus Kershaw.
And by the way, shout out to the Tampa Bay Rowdies going to the finals.
Dude, I was gonna say, yeah, I watched the side. I was able to catch the second half of that game, man. What a match! What a match!
You know what's funny? We talked about it last night. When Team Tampa Bay is low, it's like we're all low. But when we win, Team Tampa Bay's on fire. They all seem to come together.
Man. Wasn't
and that's
that
what
like
happened Saturday nights?
Wasn't that like the slogan from 08 or something? I thought like catch the fever, raise fever.
Yes,
that's not a good 2020 slogan.
No, but here's
the fever.
Here's the funny thing, though, is how fitting is it that Oakland, well, not Oakland now, the Las Vegas Raiders started getting COVID, that they moved the Bucks game to 4:00, and now it won't interfere with the World Series game. So Tampa fans will now get to see both of them rather than having to switch between the two games tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm actually excited about that. I always like to see the Bucks on like primetime games, but honestly, they play bad in primetime games, and I want to watch the Rays game. So I'm glad the Bucks got pushed up earlier so we can watch the Rays tomorrow night. Same start time, so we'll be back late night with the Rays, late night with the 98er's.
The 98er's.
Hey, it's perfect for my work schedule.
Good.
Perfect for my lifestyle. I don't sleep. Man, I still can't get over. I'm still kind of like a little shaky. I still haven't like my heart rate definitely has not come back down yet. Like it is still, it's still up there. So yeah, I'm still up at like 90 right now. I'm usually down below 80. So I'm still going. It was crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's my top notch quality commentary on this game. It was crazy, man.
Stash, if you had something to pick apart on the Rays side, what would it be? Is it the giving up two, knowing how good the Dodgers go with 2 outs, giving up those hits?
I think that if there's anything they can do, which again, they kind of talked about this in the last game, how if you don't have it now, you're not really going to be able to control the base running. You know what I mean? If you don't have, if you as a pitcher or whatever, you don't already have that skill, it's kind of hard to just grab it out of nowhere. But doing something to keep these guys on first base, like more than one of these guys, like you get them on first, they might as well already be on second. And I think that that's one of the number one things the Rays need to look at, because these guys aren't going to stop hitting with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, right? They're not. So the number one thing is they have to keep these guys on first. If they get on base or give up walk, they've got to find a way to keep them on first and not let them get over to second, because that's been the death blow. That's been the number one thing that the Rays cannot get by, is 2 outs with runners in scoring position. At least not at first. I mean, eventually, obviously, they get out of innings, obviously. But it just seems like it was whenever Castillo walked the second guy, I was like, well, that's a run. Automatically. In my mind, as soon as Castillo walked that second guy and put 2 on, 1 out, I'm like, oh, that's definitely going to be a run no matter what. No matter what, that's going to be a run. And guess what? It was a run. So, I just don't understand that. And then this is the other thing too, is if they're talking about giving Rosarena the Barry Bonds treatment, we got to start looking at Seager for the same treatment. And I mean, when you have first open, I don't understand why you guys aren't walking, why they're not walking some of these guys. Muncy, same way, first was open. It was not last night's game. I think it happened again tonight. You could have walked him again. It worked out late, because of the heroics, but I think that there's a little bit.
But didn't we intentionally walk someone just a few innings earlier, and it came back to bite us in the ass?
Didn't we have an intentional walk? I didn't.
Yeah, I thought it
don't
was
know.
like the 7th or 8th inning, and I think it ended up biting us. Like the next one hit that ended up. I don't know. Everything is now starting to
I
come
don't think so.
together.
Not tonight, but it's just one of those things of if you want to go back and kind of nitpick, I guess that's kind of what you could see. But I mean, look, they could have freaking just straight up given a Rosarena the base tonight, and they tried to get him out. You know what I mean? It's one thing to even whenever they gave Barry Bonds the Barry Bonds treatment, most people were against it because it's like, hey, A, in the spirit of the game, and B, you still want to give your pitcher the confidence to think that he can go out and beat anybody on any day. His stuff is better than the guy at the plate. That's the mentality you have to have as a pitcher. You know what I mean? So to go and just automatically give this guy a pass or say, oh, well, we can't beat him, so just pitch around him. I've never been a fan of that anyway. So, and Amy was on top of it. We did have one intentional walk. That's our sad decision.
What was it? It was like in the 7th or 8th. I'm just looking it up now.
That's probably when I was going back and forth, pacing from this room to the other. I don't watch baseball very well compared to other sports.
I don't watch baseball very well.
No, I don't.
The Lewis Dragon, that was my reaction. Holy crap. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Like for various reasons, I've paced off like my house and the width of my house and whatnot. And I'm just about like not quite 20 yards from like the back of my house to my front door. And I was standing in the back where the living room is, like right by the back door. And as soon as I saw Rosarena touch that front plate, I was just started sprinting through the house. Like if I could have been at a combine, I'm blowing everybody away. I don't know how. I've never run that fast in my life. I was like my 4-year-old kid tearing through the house. It was crazy, man. I mean, the utter reaction in that situation whenever you're on the line and you're just pacing back and forth and like, this is it, right? Like I just said, I was proud of the boys for being there. I'm like, man, what a moment. And I took a moment right there. I was like, man, this is awesome. I kind of reveled in the situation. It was like, hey, I'm not playing the game, but as a fan, this is freaking cool. Our boys are right here, bottom of the ninth. We've got a chance to be in the middle of this World Series with the freaking LA Dodgers. This team is a freaking juggernaut, really, when you really look at it and the way they've been playing. These guys are lights out. It was just a cool moment. And then for them to finish it and then put the ball in play, like, here we go, Lewis Dragon coming in. And when you put the ball in play, good things happen. That's what we've been talking about. The long ball showed up tonight when we need it. Like I said, I want to see raking. I want to see some raking. We saw some
4
raking,
home runs.
But in the end,
again,
it was getting guys on and putting the ball in play that won the game. So, and we're gonna have to see some innings tomorrow from Glasnow. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to come out, be composed, get his head in the game, and give us at least 5, if not 6 innings. 6 really good innings. We really could use 6 innings from him tomorrow.
It was the top of the 7th. Bellinger was intentionally walked. Then Peterson came in for Pollock, and Seager scored, and Turner scored.
Yeah, and that bullshit freaking at bat with Patterson.
And they ended up going ahead on that one, and that's I was like,
yeah. Still, but listen, I don't know. I still think that there's room there with Seager and Turner to maybe pitch them a little bit differently. When you're looking at guys both going 4 for 5, 3 RBIs on the night. Seager's hitting 500 in this series. I mean, that's insane.
I mean, these and Turner too. Like these guys are going off every night.
Well, and Muncy right behind him at 333. And if these guys are hitting and getting on base, Muncy's coming back and driving them in too. You know what I mean? So
Brett Phillips, pretty good average in the World Series.
Yeah, right. I'll take that. I'll take that as my lifetime World Series average.
That's right. Sit me out now.
Defensive replacement only, please.
But yeah, that is the one thing I worry about is these guys are just hitting everything. We really need our pitchers to come through in these last few games here. I mean, we're down to it's a 3-game series now, right? We've got 3 great pitchers that can get this done, but are they going to be able to handle these Dodgers hitters? Because so far they have not. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Rosarena is definitely carrying this team offensively, but you did see a couple other guys start to contribute, and some of those guys towards the end of the order too, with Kiermaier getting the 2 hits.
I think KK's home run, that was something he needed. I don't think it was something that we needed to see, but I think he needed to see that. And then that broken bat and get the single, and he was still holding the barrel of the bat when he got to the base. I think that's going to be some good for him.
Yeah. Hey, looks like we got Steve in the green room. Let's bring him on. Steve, what's going
up,
on,
boys?
What's up, man? Welcome in. Welcome in.
I figured it was time to chime in. I can never get that link to work, but I got it to work tonight. I wanted to jump in.
Sweet.
Yeah, thank you. Thankfully.
But, we all three want to be there in your closet with you.
Yeah.
I see something I want.
This is actually my office.
Nice.
So this is where all the 98er stuff came to be.
Nice.
So, but I've been really enjoying what you guys are doing. I have a lot of fun listening to it. I don't always have the opportunity to, but I've tried to make the opportunity this week. And I know these games are late. Like this MLB start time is crazy because clearly they're just catering to all the Dodger fans. Yep. But like I text my girlfriend and I was like, "Oh, Rays won! It's awesome!" And I'm all fired up. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sure your phone's going to be going crazy." And I'm like, "It's 12:30 in Florida right now." I'm like, anybody who hasn't passed out yet, there's going to be a lot of people who, there's going to be people who wake up because this game was amazing because you had all the back and forth. But there's going to be people who wake up tomorrow and they're like, "Oh my gosh, they won! Oh, this is amazing!" And they're going to see They're going to see Phillips running all over the place and everybody chasing after him, thinking he's a fan ran on the field. It's but it was great. It was a great game, and the fact that they tied it up at 2-2. And we've got a 3-game series now. Best 2 out of 3. We get Glass tomorrow, and obviously we've seen Kershaw already. And I will tell you, I'm on the West Coast. I see a lot of Dodgers baseball. I absolutely hate the Dodgers, and you've probably noticed that from my Twitter feed. Although it's a company feed, I try to be cool, but it's hard. But the Dodgers will get in their own heads. Now this is different because they have Mookie this year, but they have been in this position numerous times over the last 4 years. Yeah. There's always something that pops up, and they've got to be sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, this is going to happen again."
Here it goes again.
Jensen blew it again, or Taylor missed that ball in center field, or Will Smith, who's a very reliable catcher, misses that, just loses the ball on the swipe, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on here?" And the fact that, I'll tell you the thing that excites me most about the Rays right now, and I posted this in the thread, is that they scored on something besides a solo home run tonight. And we saw we saw that 3-run shot, and we saw the 2-run shot. Guys are getting on base. It's better at bats. It seemed like in the last series against the Astros, they were swinging at everything. There was no discipline. They were swinging at everything outside of the zone. We're starting to see more disciplined at bats now, and the bats are getting warm. They're going to see Kershaw a second time, and typically he's not as effective the second time around. Then you get that day off, which means the bullpen gets at rest. Snell can go 4 or 5 innings. Then you have the bullpen pick them up, and they hopefully close it out. But if not, you got Morton in Game 7. So I really like the way things are lining up right now for the Rays.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That's kind of what we were talking about on the show last night. If the Rays could pull out this victory, I really like the pitching matchups going forward. Sure, Kershaw came out and got the win in the first game, but we talked about it at Game 1. They had an opportunity in the first inning to get to him. They let him off the hook, and then he settled in. He traditionally isn't that great in the postseason, right? Especially in the World Series. So I think he got that one good start out of the way. Now it's time for the Rays to come back and capitalize. As you said, already seeing him once, having some confidence coming off of this game, and with their bats being hot, this is a perfect situation for the Rays to come back and really take control of the series.
Same thing with Glass now. You don't usually see 2 bad games from Glass now.
Exactly.
You got to think it's going to be Glass now, Snell, and Morton, and you're not going to see a bad game from Morton again. If we end up going these full 7, you're not going to see a Glass now and a Morton that we saw in Game 1 and Game 3. They're going to be 2 totally different pitchers.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Okay.
I know that after Game 1, I had asked about the impact that Lau could have in the lineup, and Lau had struggled so much throughout the postseason, and then all of a sudden, boom, he hits 2 in the second game, 2 bombs, and then he hits another one. All three bombs go opposite field. How much of an impact do you think that has on not just his confidence, but on the rest of the lineup and how that plays out, and also how it forces the Dodgers pitchers to pitch to him now because he's not an automatic out like he was earlier in the series?
I don't think it can be overstated, honestly. I really don't. I mean, the confidence. I mean, he also had that one great. His first at bat was a great at bat, and Mookie just went and made a great play. You know what I mean, on that first contact tonight. So you're absolutely right. He's seen the ball a lot better the last few games, and it's huge for the rest of that lineup to see their guy. We talked about it. You got to dance with the one what brung you. That's basically the reason why he's still in the lineup, because he did carry this team in the regular season, and he is that guy that we have signed and we've gone all in on as kind of like the future guy to kind of build around in our lineup. So if he can come through and start hitting and be a force to be reckoned with, and you still have a Rosarena, and you can get somebody that's getting on base kind of in between those two guys, ahead of in that lineup, that changes everything in this whole series if Lau really gets going. And to see that he's going kind of going with the ball instead of trying to overdo it, like they said, if he tries to go opposite field, it's probably not a home run. So,
and I know we show the batting percentages going on right now, but if you just take these just tonight, you're only as good as your last bat. You're only your last inning, your last game. I mean, this is going to be a confidence builder for a lot of those players. A KK, a Lau, even Choi. I mean, he didn't do really anything good tonight, but he didn't do anything.
He got on base, and that was what he really needed to do. However he did it, he got on base, and
they did that tonight. They did what they needed to do to win this game. Yep. And I think that's going to be what you're going to see, hopefully what you see going forward. And I think that's where the Dodgers had capitalized off of, game 1, game 2, game 3, was they were seeing what worked for them and they were capitalized on it. I think now the Rays are going to capitalize on what brought them these wins.
Yeah, great points, guys. And I think, I was really worried about KK after he got hit during the Astros series, but looked like he found his swing again, and that has a huge impact. I know, Stash, you love Choi, and the fact that he was able to draw that walk in his first at-bat. And he put together 2 professional at-bats tonight. And I think that's what you need to see, especially when he faces lefties, because Cash needs to see him put good at-bats against lefties so he can feel confident. But, hey, I'm going to get out of here. Leave you guys to it. I appreciate you giving me a few minutes to jump on, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow night.
Hey, man, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
Go Rays.
Raise up. Yeah, raise up.
Go Rays. Thanks, Steve. Hey, we got another caller. We got Kev in the green room. Let's bring on Kev. What's going on, man?
What's going on? I just got a few points to make and see if you guys agree or not. Man, I feel like the Dodgers should be a dynasty team. These guys should be winning back-to-back World Series, multiple World Series, but it just seems like Dave Roberts is holding them back. And they just keep him around. They keep him around. And I honestly put the blame on him for why this team is not winning multiple World Series. Do you guys agree?
I don't know if it's Dave Roberts. I mean, they've added, Mookie, and I think it's their own play. I don't think there's much more he could do that would win them any more World Series. Yes, they should be a dynasty team, and they should have won a few already. And probably on paper, probably could have swept the Rays on this one. But I don't think it's Roberts. He's had everything going for him. It's just they're running against the teams that want it more.
Yeah, I mean, coming from our fan base here, we're the Rays, but right across the bay, we know exactly what this story looks like, right? From the Lightning. How many people are sitting there calling for Coop? Oh, it's Coop's fault. It's Coop's fault. The guys weren't getting it done on the ice. And I feel the same way about the Dodgers. And because I have to. If I felt a way about that team, I got to kind of feel the same way about it. Dave Roberts is an all-time kind of guy. You know what I mean? He knows the game. I don't think
no Dusty Baker, though.
Wait. Hey, don't get me started.
Josh loves Dusty Baker, if you don't remember that.
That's a different show.
He was on his payroll.
Yeah,
President
I may or may not have been banging trash cans last year. No, listen though. I think David Roberts is an all-time kind of guy, and I don't see him making bad decisions. It's not like he's out there making decisions that's costing his team the game. I mean, he went with the guys he should have. They had the lead going into the 7th inning. They should have been able to go their 8 and 9 guys and get out of this game. They didn't. Those guys didn't deliver tonight. That's, I put it on these guys on the field not having whatever it is collectively that you need to get the job done.
They actually had the lead in every inning. I mean, 8th, 9th, and they had the lead. 7th, 8th, 9th, they had it all. And they've been playing error-free baseball, and tonight it caught up to them.
They had been. Yeah. And I can't really talk much to the Dodgers manager just because I don't watch enough Dodgers games. But same with the Stash. Like, I compare them to the Lightning. They've been there so many times. They could have been a dynasty by now. And something that Steve said kind of opened my eyes too about, like, oh, they have been here, like the Lightning had been to the Eastern Conference Finals so many times and been so close. And hey, now are we in their heads now? Because baseball, more than hockey, I think is way more in your head. Way more mental. So you got to hope for the Rays, because the way that even we won this game, but even if you look back at this game, I mean, in the whole series, LA has just been clobbering the ball. Their pitching has been pretty on par. We mentioned their defense has been flawless pretty much until tonight. So, and there's something to say about a manager or a coach like John Cooper for the Lightning that can get that team back to that position to win. Yeah. Like at some point, you got to say, like, hey, these players just aren't getting it done if there's no glaring kind of management mistakes.
Yeah, not trying to shoot you down there, Kev, but that's our take. You got anything else for us you want to ask us about?
Yeah, the only reason I said he's been his fault is because Jansen. We've seen Jansen do this. He folds in the big moments and choked away a bunch of World Series games, bunch of saves. So, my final question for you guys.
Yeah.
The talk of the town was Mookie Betts. Like, he solidified himself as the best player in baseball, if not the best, one of the best. And I'm thinking, wait, Corey Seager has been the best player on their team. He's been dominating. You look at the stats. So I want to get your guys' final thoughts to that and head up. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. I got to agree with you. I mean, if the storyline from that Dodgers side, it's right now definitely Seager. Like, Mookie Betts is definitely the guy in the future. That's a guy that you can't wait to have on your team and get to watch. Like we talked about it early in the series. As a Dodgers fan, what a treat. You get to watch that guy for the prime of his career. But yeah, right now in this moment in this series, Seager is your guy. He's the guy that needs to be getting all that. And it's not like Turner isn't right behind him or anything, but Seager is definitely the guy that's been the motor of this offense through this whole series.
But yeah, and on top of it, the Rays have been gearing for their at-bats with Mookie. I mean, you see the reason why Seager has been lighting us up is because we're not going against him like we are with Mookie. They're doing matchup for matchup against Mookie. That's who they've been scared of this whole series, and then they're getting burned by Seager. So they need to start going more on Seager.
That's true.
Two-strike pitching is key right now for the Rays. Yep. They're just not. We talked about it last night when we had the guys from Locked On Rays on the show, and it happened again tonight. Two-strike pitching continues to be an issue for the Rays, and
it's not just the Rays though. It's this Dodgers team. For some reason, with 2 outs, they can do anything. But I know you're saying two strikes too.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's 1 out, 2 outs, whatever. They aren't going for that kill and trusting the guys behind them when they get 2 strikes. And but you're right. The Dodgers are just really good at hitting baseball.
I mean, the Dodgers again tonight. They only had 2 guys that didn't have hits, which one of them was Betts. The other
they're seeing the ball real well. You would think there's trash cans in that.
I know, right? They're
seeing it real well.
I mean, 4 hits for Turner, 4 hits for Seager tonight. That's crazy. But again, Arozarena has been our guy, our one guy that's getting multiple hits a game or making stuff happen. Seems like every game, and broke the record as we mentioned earlier. So kudos to him. We know he's not on any performance enhancing drugs like everyone else that was on that list.
Yeah.
Stash, you a fan of the four-man outfield? Because Buck was making a big to-do about it today.
It reminds me of Little League. Like, you guys remember that, right? Because when we didn't have a shortstop in Little League, it was just first, second, third, and then 4 guys in the outfield. That's how you played T-ball and like T-ball, I guess. Not maybe Little League, but T-ball at least. That's what it reminds me of. But look, if the metrics weigh out and it shows that that's the kind of it's, I have no problem with it. It's like changing your defense in football. You're 2 deep safety, 1 deep man-to-man zone.
Tampa 2.
Right, exactly. We'll call it the Tampa 4.
Yeah.
Something about 4 this year in Tampa. Hey, Stash? Or hey, Shooter? Right? What's with the 4? So, yeah, we like to keep it all relevant on this show, even if you have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Just look up Tom Brady, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, but still wasn't. Anyways, so I mean, yeah, man, this is exciting now.
Because Buck was making a big to do about it, saying that it might have worked for us previously, but the Dodgers have been hitting around it. So,
yeah, well,
and taking advantage of it. So the metrics, the previous metrics might have been great, but maybe they should redo those metrics just for this series and see if it's benefiting us or not.
Right.
So the whiteboard, did you figure it out, Shooter?
I'm still trying to think of it.
We'll have it ready for everybody tomorrow.
Maybe by tomorrow. Yeah, I've got it set up, but I have no words for Brett. You know what it is? It's the TT that's killing me.
Been ready every day till tonight.
For what?
Right.
I say we wrap this sucker up and have a stiff cocktail and get some rest for tomorrow, because we're going to be back out late tomorrow night for game number 5, a pivotal. This could be the biggest game of the series for sure. Game 5s usually are. It's going to put you 1 win away from having that clinching opportunity. So we'll go around one more time. What do you guys think is going to happen tomorrow? What do you expect to see? What do you want to happen?
Go ahead, Stash.
Well, it really comes down to Glasnow. Glasnow has to go out there and take command. He has to just let them know. He has to take advantage of it, getting ahead in the count and get in and take advantage of it. Like I said, two strike pitches. It's not about. It doesn't matter if they have 2 outs if there's nobody on base, right? Like you got to challenge these guys. Like I said, you got to keep them off of second base early on in the inning, and you got to challenge them when you get ahead in the strike zone or in the strike count. That's all it comes down to. And then these bats have to keep going.
I think it's going to be, you got to get to Kershaw early and often. If you can get to Kershaw early and often and take advantage of those mistakes that we didn't take him first, I think we got it. Real quick, gotta love the love from the other sports teams from Tampa on the Rays. It's really cool how this community sticks together on all the teams. During the Lightning Stanley Cup run, you saw the Rays tweeting them, you saw the Bucks tweeting them, the Rowdies, and now it's the same for the Rays.
Oh yeah.
There is one of the Lightning players the other day was like, who has better splits, Vasi or Choi? And you had to vote on it.
Oh, we need to have that happen in real life. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Off-season
I saw that.
We got to make that happen.
So, I mean, it's just really great that this team Tampa Bay is really taken off here and win a year that's been so fucked up.
I know. It's a great time to be a Tampa Bay fan. Finally.
Suck to be a sports fan in this town right now.
Yeah.
Of course,
we paid our dues.
We couldn't be at this game like we should have been, but that's all right.
Let's not bring that up again, please.
Anyway, Amy's got a good one here. Best Rays every man top team. I'm telling you, it's the tease that gets you every time. It's
be ready every time tradies. I like that.
Be ready every time tradies. I like that one too, since Brett Phillips just came aboard. And shout out to the Phillips family. I actually know Brett Phillips' sister. I used to work with her, so I couldn't be happier for the Phillips family. I'm sure they are celebrating big time tonight. So congratulations, Brittany and Brett and the whole family. I don't know if they're all B names, but
be raking every time too.
I will try. By the way, I will ask Brittany if we can get Brett to come on the show after the Rays win the World Series. So cross your fingers. We'll send him this video. We'll send him this podcast. Maybe that'll convince him.
We might not be big time around here, but we do have our roots and our connections throughout the Bay Area. You never know who we might just happen to have Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation from. You know what I mean?
Well, Johnny B jumped on after the last win.
Exactly. You never know. You never know.
So, all right. Well, let's wrap this one up. I think the Rays have to stick to what's been working. As much as I want to see them manufacture runs like the old Rays, it's the long ball that's getting them there. I want to see the pitchers turning around and be able to shut down these hitters somehow. And just hope they start making mistakes. Like I said, I liked what Steve said. Maybe the Rays are in their head now. And maybe whatever was in Lau's head before is completely gone now, because he seems to be heating up, and that is exactly what we need. We need a couple other bats to be heating up.
Both games he's hit a homer, we've won. So if that doesn't get in his head that he should be hitting that ball and launching it for a Rays win, I think that's the confidence.
I heard rumors there might be discovering a new fossil of a dinosaur down at the La Brea Tar Pits. Chocosaurus Rex.
Like, where are we going?
The old Chocosaurus Rex. They say it evolved into a bird.
Yeah, flew right the fuck out of LA.
All right, let's end this. Should we end it with another look at that final moment of the game?
Let's do it. I'm gonna go watch it again.
By the way, it might get this replay banned or muted. They might mute us for sharing this because the clip's over a minute, I see here, but we don't care. Anyway, you can go to the podcast, look up Shooter in the Stash podcast, and you'll see that anywhere that you can listen to podcasts, and you can listen to this show because you probably won't be able to watch it after we show you the end. But this has been We the 98ers. Thanks for being a 98er. Wait, let me start again. This has been We. Oh, the stable's ready to go another 9. The 98ers. Don't forget to be a 98er. Hold on. We got to show you this one more time.
Raise up. Look at Jansen just crumble.
I know. He said,
yeah, he went straight down to his knees.
Randy didn't know which way to run.
What a game.
KK. Can't catch me.
You can't catch me.
You can't. I'm a golden goose. I'm a golden goose. Oh, man, what a moment.
Amazing.
What a moment.
All right, let's keep it going. Raise up, Tampa Bay.
That's right, baby.
Raise up.